You may have wondered, what is a research population and how is it different from a research sample? A research population is that entire group of individuals that is the main focus of a scientific inquiry. So, the researcher himself or herself gets to decide what is the big group that's being studied. Is it all humans? Maybe it's just all adults. It could be even more narrow, only healthy adults. In fact, in research, it's generally even more narrow. For example, maybe all adults who have had a stroke in the last 3 months. Sometimes it's the case that the researcher may want to say, I'm really only interested in the adults who've had a stroke in the last 3 months who live in North America, or the United States, or Dallas, Texas. So it is the case that the research population is defined by the research question. So then, what's a research sample? Well, it's a group of people selected from a particular research population who will be followed up and measured. Researchers aim to create representative samples so that their sample of participants drawn from the population will have the same characteristics of individuals in that research population. The sample will reflect or be like the research population, only a smaller number. The best way to get a representative sample is to do simple random sampling. You take all the people in the research population, you put their names in a hat, and then you select out the 100 people for your study, for your sample. However, this is rarely possible. You rarely know the identities of everyone in the research population. So even though simple random sampling sounds great and it's recommended, it is rarely possible. Researchers tend to rely on convenience sampling. So volunteers can be recruited and they just have to meet the criteria for participation in the research study. They are conveniently located. You might post a flyer on social media and you wait for participants who meet the eligibility criteria to contact you. Sometimes researchers end up with a biased sample. What does this mean? It means that the sample composition does not reflect the research population in composition. So when you have the results from the sample and you want to make conclusions about the larger research population, you really can't do that because you have a sample that doesn't reflect the larger research population. When you think about how few brains have been scanned throughout the world, it is obvious that there is still so much yet to be learned about the human brain. Please keep this in mind as you go through the rest of the class. That's all for now.